And Johnny Cash, he made history behind prison walls. These are the 10 country albums from the 1960s that didn't just top charts, they changed lives. The 1960s were a golden age of country storytelling, raw, real, and unforgettable. George Jones gave heartache a new name. Tammy Wynette turned pain into anthems for millions. Number 10, Country Music Hall of Fame hits, Volume 1 by Conway Twitty.
I had my little jealousy.
Coming in at number 10, Conway. Twitty proved he wasn't just a rock and roller turned crooner. He was a country traditionalist with a voice built for heartbreak. Released in 1969 under MCA Records, this album showcased Conway's deep respect for the legends that came before him.
Ain't it funny how time steals the people?
With covers of hits from Hank Williams, Webb Pierce, and Jim Reeves, it served as both a tribute and a transition, bringing Conway fully into the country fold. Few knew that behind the velvet voice was a fierce ambition to be remembered not as a crossover star, but as a true country icon. Picture spinning this record in a paneled living room, the smell of Sunday roast in the air, and Conway's baritone filling every corner with warmth and sorrow.
We were crazy in love.
This was more than an album. It was a statement. Conway Twitty had arrived, and he wasn't going anywhere. From reverence to rebellion, the next album on our list flipped the script entirely. Number 9, The Return of Roger Miller by Roger Miller.
I wish I had your happiness, and you had a do I could do.
Roger Miller's genius hit its stride with this 1965 Mercury Records gem, The Return of Roger Miller. Featuring quirky, chart-busting hits like King of the Road and Do-Wacka-Do, this album was a jolt of wit and rhythm in a genre known for solemn ballads. It broke all the rules, and country fans loved it for that.
You're going down the street in your big Cadillac, you got girls in the front and got girls.
Behind the humor, though, was a man who battled personal demons and poured his soul into every syllable. His humor wasn't just fun, it was survival. Imagine hearing King of the Road drift from a dusty roadside diner jukebox, truckers nodding along, kids tapping their boots on cracked linoleum. The album earned Miller 6 Grammy Awards, setting a new bar for country songwriting.
And it's all because all you do is make me sit around feeling blue.
He wasn't just back, he was rewriting what country music could be. And just when country seemed to go modern, one man brought it back home to honky tonk. Number 8, Sings the Songs of Dallas Frazier by George Jones. George Jones was already a legend by 1968, but this album reminded everyone why they called him the Possum. Released under Musicor Records, Sings the Songs of Dallas Frazier was a collaboration between two lyrical giants. Frazier's razor-sharp songwriting and Jones's aching delivery created a perfect storm of emotion. One quirky fact, Frazier once said George could sing the phone book and make you cry, and this album proves it. Picture this one spinning in a beat-up Ford truck cab, parked under a starry sky, a flask in the glove box, and heartbreak in the rearview mirror. While not his most commercially explosive album, it's one of the most emotionally potent, and a favorite among die-hard fans. Now, from sorrow-soaked honky-tonks to something a little more polished, but no less powerful. Number 7, By the Time I Get to Phoenix, by Glen Campbell.
On her door.
Glen Campbell brought a smoother sound to country with this 1967 Capitol Records masterpiece. The title track, written by Jimmy Webb, became an instant classic, and Campbell's lush arrangements introduced a new kind of country, one that flirted with pop but stayed rooted in emotion.
But she'll just hear that phone.
What few fans knew: Glen was a former session guitarist who played on tracks for Elvis, the Beach Boys, and Sinatra. His skills ran deep. Imagine driving across Arizona with this track rolling under the desert sun, the horizon endless, and every note of Campbell's voice tugging at memory and hope.
And she'll cry just to think.
The album won the 1968 Grammy for Best Male Vocal Performance and helped lay the foundation for the country pop crossover movement. From smooth highways to backroad grit, the next artist paved his own way with pride. Number 6, The Country Way, by Charley Pride.
Just 2 words were all that she would.
In 1967, The Country Way didn't just chart, it shattered barriers. Charley Pride, one of the few black artists in country music, brought pure honky-tonk soul to RCA Victor's lineup, and America couldn't get enough. The album featured hits like Does My Ring Hurt Your Finger and The Day the World Stood Still.
I'm not built that way. Wish that I.
Behind the scenes, Pride was often introduced on radio without revealing his race, letting the music speak first. And when fans learned the truth, the music still spoke louder. Imagine his voice spilling from a console stereo in a farmhouse kitchen where prejudice paused and hearts listened. This album reached #1 on Billboard's Country Albums chart and helped launch Charley Pride into the Hall of Fame.
But I'm a fool, I guess I'll do the thing that fools do.
And history. If these country classics are bringing back memories, go ahead and tap that like button. And subscribe for more Golden Era Country countdowns every single week. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 5, Stand By Your Man, by Tammy Wynette. Tammy Wynette wasn't just singing, she was testifying. Released in 1969 under Epic Records, Stand By Your Man featured the title track that sparked decades of conversation and controversy. Some called it empowering, others called it outdated. But everyone agreed that it was unforgettable. Did you know she recorded the song in just 15 minutes? That single take became one of country's most iconic vocals. Imagine this one echoing through a smoky honky-tonk as women wiped tears, men sipped quietly, and the whole room swayed to Tammy's emotional thunder. The album hit #2 on Billboard's Country LP chart and cemented her status as the first lady of country music. From feminine strength to raw Bakersfield energy, the next record brought twang to the big city. Number 4, Carnegie Hall Concert, by Buck Owens.
He's an admiral in the Texas Navy, lives in Bakersfield, California.
When Buck Owens and the Buckaroos hit Carnegie Hall in 1966, it wasn't just a concert, it was a mission. Recorded live and released by Capitol Records, this album brought Bakersfield-style country.
He's won almost every conceivable award there is given in the country world, time and...
Twangy guitars, driving rhythms, and no-nonsense lyrics, to one of the world's most prestigious stages. The kicker? Buck broke tradition and turned Carnegie into a hoedown, cracking jokes and playing fiddle tunes with the energy of a Saturday night barn dance. Close your eyes and you're in the front row, tuxedos tapping their feet while Buck belts out Act Naturally.
Gentlemen, America's #1 country artist, a warm...
It became one of the most influential live albums in country history, proving twang belonged anywhere, even under chandeliers. From neon lights to small-town stories, the next album hits close to home. Number 3, Fist City by Loretta Lynn.
You've been making your brags around town that you've been loving my man.
Don't mess with Loretta. Fist City, released in 1968 under Decca Records, was a firestorm of sass, grit, and truth. With songs like You Ain't Woman Enough and the title track, Loretta made it crystal clear, mess with her man, and you'd better be ready to fight.
I'm a man if you don't want to go to Fist City.
The album wasn't just about feisty lyrics. It was about giving women a voice, raw and unfiltered, at a time when they were expected to stay quiet. Imagine this spinning on a record player in a pink curtain trailer, cigarette smoke curling, and a fierce mama nodding along with every word. Fist City went to #1 on the Billboard Country Albums chart and solidified Loretta as not just a singer, but a movement.
And I'll lift you off of the ground. I'm not a...
Up next, a songbook full of regret, redemption, and prison bars. Number 2, Mama Tried by Merle Haggard.
Remember knowing was a lonesome whistle blowing and the young'uns.
Few albums defined Merle Haggard's outlaw image like Mama Tried. Released in 1968 by Capitol Records, this album was soaked in real-life experience. The title track, written by Merle himself, confessed his own stint behind bars and his mother's helpless heartbreak.
I turned 21 in prison doing life without.
And here's the twist. It was released just 2 years after Branded Man, deepening Merle's legend as the voice of the downtrodden. Picture this playing on a jailhouse radio, bars casting shadows, a man staring at a letter from home as Merle's voice cuts through regret like a knife.
She tried to raise me right, but I refused. And
The album hit number 4 on the country chart and earned the Grammy Hall of Fame nod decades later. But there's one album from this decade that changed everything, and it starts with a cheer from behind bars. Number 1, At Folsom Prison by Johnny Cash.
I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around.
Nothing shook the country world quite like At Folsom Prison. Recorded live in 1968 inside the walls of Folsom State Prison, this Columbia Records release was bold, raw, and completely unforgettable.
I hang my head and cry.
Johnny Cash didn't just sing to inmates, he gave them a voice. The album opens with the thunder of applause, prisoners cheering not just for music, but for recognition. And here's the wild detail. The prison's warden was reluctant until Cash agreed to tone down lyrics, but he didn't. Imagine sitting in that mess hall, shackled by fate, while the man in black belts out Folsom Prison blues with grit in his gut. The album went triple platinum, revived Cash's career, and forever changed the idea of where and for whom country music could be played. If you've enjoyed this trip back in time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more country classics every week. These 10 albums weren't just hits. They were heartbeats of a decade. From prison walls to Carnegie Hall, from sassy saloon queens to poetic drifters, the 1960s gave us country music that bled truth. Thank you for riding along. Your love for real music keeps these stories alive. And don't miss what's next. 12 country songs, only 50-plus-year-olds. Remember, biggest hits from the 1960s, where outlaw legends rise, heartbreak deepens, and a new wave of country icons begins. Until next time, keep the needle down and the memories close. Country never forgets.